How you doing? Come on in. Got room in the studio today. Not a lot of room. I actually need to get a bigger studio so I can have a studio audience in here, and it's a real consideration. Or just more room for my cameras and stuff, but we'll see what happens. Good to have you here today. Are you tired yet? Have you been doing something and chasing something for a very long time? Are you on the edge of burnout? Well, there are ways to stop that, but I don't know that it's a bad thing to be on the edge of burnout. If you're here today and you're on the edge of burnout, that's good. That means you're trying to find a way to avoid that. We'll talk about that a bit today and give you a very simple solution for it. Maybe too simple. There's a chance you won't listen. That's okay. You'll figure it out. It's the Daily Boost from MotivationToMove.com, the positive boost you need every single day because life is going to get in the way. It happens all the time. Even this week here at the house and here at the office, my wife and I were like, really? You see what came in the mail today? Really? Okay, here we go. It just happens. It just happens. That's how it is. It's been raining all week here. It's kind of crazy and it's insane, but we figure it out. And that's exactly what you do. It's good to have you today. My name is Scott Smith, the founder, the Chief Motivating Officer here at MotivationToMove.com. Doing my best to slow down a little bit and not talk so fast. How am I doing? Okay. And in the purple shirt and sticking to the goal of growing the beard. Bike week is coming, so I cannot shave before bike week. And maybe never. We'll see what happens. So this week, you might have noticed, we seem to be on a path of passion and purpose and goal setting this week. That seems to be the path. I didn't plan on that path. It's always a good path to be on. I didn't plan on it. It's a place that I tend to go to often personally myself. I'm working on a program for you that will probably be January by the time I get it done. And I'm digging deep into the most current research there is. Matching that up with all the stuff that I know that I've done over 20 years' time. And the past week or two has been really passion and purpose and goal setting. So that's probably why you're hearing it here. So you're getting bits and pieces. What will begin to show up here in a couple of months. But pay attention because there's real nuggets here about how things actually really work psychologically. And come here for a second, okay? A lot of what we know today about how we get what we want, be happy, all the kind of stuff we look for every single day, a lot of that has been proven for years. This is how you do it. People knew that. Why? Because humans have figured stuff out way before you and I ever hit this planet. The problem was it wasn't proven. We didn't have the internet. We could not share all this information with each other. We couldn't do it. We couldn't research it. We couldn't prove. We couldn't see into the mind of anybody. We could see into the mind of animals maybe because we'd cut them up. We couldn't do that to a human. Now we can. We can get inside and see how the mind works. And the mind works. The way it works tells us whether this stuff we've learned for so long works or doesn't work. But the proof is out there that certain people do certain things in certain ways and it does work. So while it's been around a long time, now we're getting the proof to do it. And listen closely because the proof is there. And if you apply it, it's going to work for you. So let's talk about change. I have said this forever and ever and ever. Where did I begin to say this and why did I say it? Because one day I was doing my thing, whatever thing that was that particular day, because I've done just about everything there is to do when it comes to things. But one day I said, that's it. I'm done. You ever done that? And sometimes it's really good. I mean, sometimes it's I'm done and I'm going to go do what I like to do. I'm done with this. I'm going to do that. Sometimes it's not just done. It's negative. Happens. But my guess is you've done that over your life. We all do it. That's the part of motivational development that people don't often talk about, the bad stuff. That's why I say sometimes the best motivation I've ever had in my life is a kick in the ass. Sometimes it was me doing it to myself. Well, I'm done. It happens. Life is a marathon. You've heard that before. It's not a sprint. But the truth is, it's really both at the same time, isn't it? I mean, no marathoner would ever run a sprint. No marathon runner would ever run 26 miles of sprints. It's not going to happen. A 1 mile sprint, 1 mile sprint. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't run one, then skip one. They wouldn't do it. It would be a marathon. Sadly, life tends to be a bit of both at the same time. We are indeed running a marathon until our marathon is over. It's not 26 miles. It's not 26 years. Who knows what it's going to be? But along the way, depending on the day, there could be 15 or 20 sprints throughout the course of the day, another 20 throughout the course of the week. And how many in a year? I don't know. But you figured out that it's a long game, right? Most of the folks listening to this program are not babies. 25 plus would be the beginning. A large contingent of people in this audience are 35 to 54 years old in that area. That's pretty much the bulk of it. You've been around a while. You got stuff figured out. That's why you're here today. So what happens is life is a marathon with little sprints. And as a marathon, what we know we're going to do is we're going to make small deposits over time to get a big bank balance, right? Little adult. We're just going to, we're going to kick ahead when we need to. It might be a little sprint along the way to get ahead and make that bank balance. If you want to lose weight, what are you going to do? Same thing. Kind of, you're going to take something away, though. You're going to maybe reduce your calorie intake for a little bit, and you're going to do it for a long time. A marathon, you're going to get what you want. If you want to get a job promotion at work, what are you going to do? Well, primarily, you're going to do well every day. You're going to work your way up the ranks. You're not going to do it overnight, even though we'd like to do it overnight. And yes, admittedly, sometimes it happens that way. But for the most part, overnight has happened because of a lot of little gains over the years. It's a marathon that's been run. So the challenge happens when you have not defined your marathon that you're running, when you don't know what that exactly is, a lack of a specific goal. What that does, it leads to activity that will not necessarily take you where you want to go. Now, if you do that, if you are doing activities every single day, because likely you probably stumbled into it. I think most people in life have arrived where they are for the first maybe 20 years of adulthood, and you've stumbled in to what you're currently doing. And when you're doing that, it's not in your passion, it's not in your purpose. You tend to bump into it, and eventually you begin to burn out a little bit. And that's good because you start to feel tired about it. Oh my God, how do I change? I want to do this so bad. Even if you can't kind of define what this is, key point here, when you finally decide that thing you're currently doing is not going to happen anymore, you sometimes, usually very quickly, will find what you want. Sometimes you got to slam the damn door first. Just saying, okay? This is good news. Okay. When you're doing that, when that happens, you're on the right track. I'm not going to go back some psychobabble thing and say, hey, you're frustrated. That's good. Now it's starting to happen. That's Tony Robbins stuff. I don't do that stuff. I'm just saying, when life gets in the way, when it gets crappy, all right, you're going to make a change. That's it. I'm not going to buffalo you here. Stamina is required to reach any goal. There's no doubt about that. We talk about that all the time. And society today does something really silly. It celebrates your ability to do hard work no matter what. And if you think about it, if you put the Scott Logic common sense hat on, society celebrates your hard. You're working so hard. Never give up. Never quit. Keep going. Keep working until you can't quit. Keep doing it, right? And yet, that's kind of silly. It doesn't require that kind of work. It requires focused work. And yet we are conditioned every single day to just go, which makes it really hard to stop going, and it frustrates you. And you're like, what the heck am I doing here? Why am I doing this? Why do I get out of bed every single day and do what I do? The job that I do, I can say the same thing if I'm not careful about it, because I work really hard at what I do, and I could wear myself if I'm not careful. Got to be on purpose, got to be on passion, got to be on point. There's only one problem. If it's not working for you, it's not a sustainable behavior. Sooner or later, you will decide to make a change. And it's going to be abrupt. I'm okay with that from time to time. You need to do that. Sometimes it's done. I'm done. I'm out of here. But the truth is, you will change when you wear yourself out. Are you worn out yet? Is today the day you're worn out? Please don't take this in a negative way. Take it in a changeful way. Is today the day you're worn out? Could find yourself reluctant, fearful, hard-headed. That'd be me. Put up with a less than satisfying path because eventually you're going to wear yourself out. That's a good thing. When you've had enough, even the timing is not perfect, you're going to change when you wear yourself out, aren't you? What are you doing? You can't quit your job. We got bills. Doesn't matter. I'm done. Everybody knows that. You know it. The marathon of life will continue until it doesn't. So the question I guess I have for you today. Are you ready to change? Before you wear yourself out? You know it's coming. And by the way, what happens when you're working as hard as you possibly can and you're loving every second of it? When you cannot get up early enough and you cannot stay up late enough, you cannot work enough weekends, it means you're living in purpose and passion. That's where we want to be. Consider it, ponder it, think about it. My guess is you already are, and that's a good thing. Scott Logic email is out. Go get it. Motivation2move.com. And I think you're going to like it. It's like 100. I'm trying to keep it under 120 words. You can read it really quickly. That's about maybe a 40-second read for most people. Maybe a little faster, maybe 30 seconds. So I think it's going to be useful and funny. You'll like it. And you can unsubscribe whenever you want to. Also, I'm at Facebook. Go there. That's where you'll find me. That's where I interact with you. That's kind of the place I keep up because I don't do a lot of social media. DailyBoostPodcast.com/Facebook. Tomorrow, waking up with gratitude. Gratitude's really good. I wrote a book on gratitude. Love gratitude. But is it the only thing? No. It's got to be positioned right. It's part of the puzzle. Tomorrow we'll talk about that for you. In the meantime, I want you to have a great day. Decide if you're ready to change. Are you ready to not wear yourself out? Today's the day to begin. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.